this is Casey at BB Babies and Friends. Today I'm going to make a video on how to paint eyes on a soft sculpture doll. Recently I released a pattern on how to make a newborn size BB baby. You can find the pattern in my Etsy shop. I will put a link below if you'd like to buy it. The pattern included instructions to make sleep eyes on the doll, not open eyes. And as I promised, I would make a video of how I paint my open eyes and post it on YouTube. So that's what this video is about. So I have a doll here that's ready. Her head is stuffed and ready to go. And I'm going to show you my process. So the things that you will need as far as supplies are fabric paint. This is the brand that I use. It's Tulip Soft Matte Paint, and it's for fabric specifically. If you use regular acrylic paints or other types of paints, they are not washable, they are not water resistant. So these are it. I don't necessarily recommend putting the doll in the washing machine, but it's possible. You can do it and the paint should stay. So you'll need a variety of colors. I'm going to do blue eyes today on this doll, so I have black, blue, and white. You also will need some water just to clean your paintbrush between colors, and a paper towel for drying it, and then some kind of plastic tray. This is a lid to a food container, or you can buy the official type of artist paint trays. And then of course a paintbrush. You're going to want a pretty fine tipped brush for this. I don't know a lot about brushes. This one is 801. The brand is Low Cornell, but it's just a pretty fine brush. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get your paint out. I like this paint, but in the past they had the containers where the paint sat like this and you open the top, and now they're like this, which seems great, except for now when you open them, a lot of times the paint squirts out. So you want to be really careful when you open it. I almost always have one get paint on me. So you might want to cover your clothes and just open very carefully. So I'm going to put, see, that one squirted. And then when you close the lid, also be careful, because see, it splatters. So you want to be very careful. I think this one actually got me. So give me 1 second. Let's put some glue. Oh, the glue didn't squirt because I haven't opened it. So let's open that up. These are actually a new set of paints that I just got. And instead of using the lid, I'm just going to squirt a little out. That might actually be the easier way to use these paints. Okay, so you have to be really careful with this paint because, like I said, it is fabric paint. So if you get it on the doll, you get it on your clothes, if you get it anywhere, it's going to stay because it's supposed to stay on fabric. So you want to be really careful. The first thing that I do is decide where I want the eyes, and I take little sewing pins and sort of stick them in, and that way you can move them around and kind of see where you want the eyes. I also kind of measure with my fingers to see if it's about the same distance, but sometimes it doesn't always look, it's not always about measuring. Sometimes the way that the stuffing is on the inside, you might want them in a different place, so I kind of just line them up how they look right. And then I take the pins out and put a tiny little mark with a disappearing ink pen just so I can remember where. And then I'm going to make blue eyes, but I want them to be a little bit lighter than this dark blue, so I'm going to add some white and till it's the color that I want. And then what you're going to do is basically you are just going to paint a circle. So this is probably the part that's the hardest. I just freehand it. If you have a way to use a template, or you want to draw the circle on first with your disappearing ink pen, that's a possibility too. I'm not quite sure how you would use a template, but you might be able to figure something out. I kind of just do it like that. I kind of want this doll to have bigger eyes, so if you want your circle to be bigger, you just keep going. And then just sort of look at your eyes and make sure they're about the same size and adjust if you need to. Okay, now I don't always do this, but sometimes I add a little bit of a darker color just for some contrast around part of the eye, the outside. I don't really make super realistic eyes. That's not really in my realm of abilities, and I don't really like it anyway. My dolls are kind of simple and I like them that way. Okay, so when we're done with the blue, we're just gonna clean off our brush. And then the other thing you're going to need, which if you have bought my pattern you already know this, is a black fabric marker. This one that I use has a brush on one side and a sharp point on the other side. So we're going to use the brush side, and this is where I draw my lash line. You can paint eyelashes, you can add more than 2, but 2 is sort of the signature BB Babies look, so that's what I do most of the time. Okay, so the next step after you draw the eyelashes is to put on the white paint around the eyes. Now, you have options, of course, depending on how you want your doll to look. This doll, I kind of want to have a wide-eyed look, so I'm going to paint the white all the way under the eyes. You could just do it there, you could just do it in the corners. It's totally up to you. So I'm gonna go all the way around. then you want to clean your brush again. And now we're going to do the black part. So for the black, you want to be careful that the blue is dry enough that you're not going to mix the two paints. Usually it dries pretty fast, so you shouldn't have a problem doing it right away. But if you're smearing your blue a lot, you might want to wait a little bit until it dries. Otherwise, you're just painting another circle to your desired size. The larger the pupil, the more kind of baby innocent the doll looks. I generally like larger pupils. You just want to check your doll every now and then too and make sure that you're doing it about the same. And you can see on this side I kind of got some white on the blue, so if you want to fix that, all you have to do is take some of your blue and go back over it right there. Okay, so now a couple things to finish. You're going to put a white dot here and here. That's another thing that can get kind of messed up if it's not dry, so you want to make sure you don't get it all mixed up in your black paint. And then the last thing I do is once the paint is dry, you're going to draw a line around the blue to highlight it. So I'm going to set this aside, and when it's done, I'll show you that part and we will be done. Okay, so as I said, I've let the paint dry overnight. It can usually dry in a couple hours, but I recommend letting it dry overnight before you do any soft sculpting around the paint. I've tried to rush things before, and then you smear the paint and you can't get it off. So the last step is again to take your fabric marker, and I just outline the color part of the eye, just like that, on both eyes. And that's how I paint my eyes on the doll. Now as far as the soft sculpting part, you can buy my pattern. The process is the same as explained in the pattern for closed eyes. You just do the same thing but with the open eyes. So if you're interested in making your own BB baby, check out the link below to find the pattern in my shop. And thanks for watching as always. Be sure to subscribe for all new videos. Thank you.